I got my Caleb Noel outfit over there.
What's your Caleb Noel outfit?
My Dark Target tank.
Oh, yeah, dude, I got my tank, yeah. We should just have matching outfits in a video. Chicken jacket, because pretty sure it's the same tank top.
The same tank top.
Rolling!
Welcome to another episode of TVC Talk. I'm your host today, Mark Pasternak, alongside another video community co-founder, Mr. Caleb Noel.
What's up, everybody?
Today, we are going to talk about the power of partnerships and community to explode your business.
Roll that intro, Eric.
All right!
Community, partnerships, lots of words for it, but really, it's your network. The people that you surround yourself with that are gonna be the backbone to building up your business. And not just build it up, but be able to sustain it. Because we talk a lot about business growth, but I think what isn't really talked about much is sustainability. Preventing the burnout, preventing getting to a place that you're just working, and then you kind of trail off. And so for us, we found it just so crucial and important to have a strong community and to have strong partnerships, whether that's with clients, whether that's with vendors, whether that's with other filmmakers, really. Because in my business, I'm sure you could speak to it too, in the last 10 years, a lot of my work has come from other filmmakers. And I've given a lot of work to other filmmakers if I can't take a gig or if they can't take a gig.
Oh, for sure. I mean, going back to the 3 R's, respect, referrals, and repeat business, we often use that in context to clients, but I think it's important to note that that also comes from fellow freelancers and filmmakers.
Absolutely.
You earn their respect, you be a good person, value alignment, all that. Referrals, hey, I can't take this job. Are you interested? Here's their budget. Or I need an extra hand, work opportunities being passed along. And then repeat business, whether that means you work with them again on another shoot or they send you more work down the line. Those 3 R's do not just apply to clients, they apply to your fellow freelance filmmakers. And this is one of the key and most powerful parts of community, because you're right. I mean, we throw each other work all the time. You know what I mean? So it's just I prefer we bring each other on set, you know what I mean? That's even more fun, but the same principles still apply.
Absolutely. And we were talking about it on the podcast the other day. If you're looking to buy a new camera or you're looking to level up a certain part of your business, instead of going about it alone and trial and error, if you have a community and you have a network of other filmmakers and other industry professionals, you can I call Eric up all the time and I'm like, hey, what about this camera or what about this lens? And it prevents me from having to do hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of research. And then buying a camera or buying a lens, trying it out, figuring out what I like, figuring out what I don't like. And it can be like, no, I've got somebody in my network that I can send a video to and say, hey, what kind of lens do you think they used here? Or what kind of lighting? And then...
Oh, for sure.
So easy.
I mean, and obviously being able to contact them directly is so important, but even in our TVC Facebook group, hey, I'm doing this type of project, just sussing out what are your recommendations, settings for this camera, here's what I have to work with. Oh, people leaving comments hey, you should try this, you should try that, when I've done this before. And actually, this brings up an even better point, and that's alternate perspectives. Alternate perspectives. One of the key, I think, elements of community, besides the 3 R's, of course, is the alternate perspectives of your fellow filmmakers, right? Our own limiting factor is our own experience, right? So when you can leverage the experience of other filmmakers, it only helps both of you improve. You always have something to learn from other filmmakers. Their perspective is valuable insights into your business if you take the time to, 1, cultivate that network and that community, and 2, be willing to listen and to learn.
I mean, it's the power of networking and the power of that community. I see it especially in client relationships, right? Every client's a little bit different, especially as you're starting out. You're trying to find your niche. You're trying to find your ideal client, and you're going to go through a lot of experiences. And even today, I still have new experiences. But to be able to call upon all these other filmmakers who I can be like, hey, I've got this going on with this client. Have you ever dealt with this? And they're like, oh, yeah, well, this is what I did. And, you know, it's like, oh, such an easy way to, like, relieve stress, add more value to your client relationships, and, again, just continue growing your network. I mean, I remember starting out. The first couple years, it was a lot of just my own projects, just me on them. But then as I got busier, it just required me to start building a team and have more people on set. And when that happens, it's kind of like a snowball effect, right? And you get more clients and you get more jobs, and you can't take all of them on. But if you can start hiring out other contractors or other vendors or other partners to help you shoot, even if you can't be there and you can edit, then it's a great way to be able to really scale and grow your business.
Oh, for sure, not to mention build relationships. Relationships to build your community, to create a network of fellow filmmakers that you can trust, that you can relate to, and people that you know that can do jobs when you can't be there. I mean, that's key. And this actually reminds me of another aspect, and that's the emotional aspect of community. And we actually just talked with Molly a few weeks back on the podcast we did with her about how, yes, fellow filmmakers, building a community of fellow filmmakers is great for being a soundboard for ideas and for questions and for learning, but it's also key to have people that you can vent to, people you can relate with and who can relate with you. There is an aspect of community that's based all on the emotional aspect, and that's being able to chat with people about things you're experiencing or going through, people who can relate to you, people who understand the trials and tribulations of being a freelance filmmaker, and there are many. There are many. What do they say about freelancers and entrepreneurs? The only people willing to work 80 hours a week for themselves to not work 40 hours for someone else. I mean, there's ups and downs. There's peaks and valleys. Growth is hard sometimes. So having a community of people, one, that are further along in the path, that been there, done that you can learn from, relating back to something earlier that we said, or the people who are in the trenches with you in the same spot right now that you can chat with, that you can relate to, that you can empathize with, those people that you can talk to, and that they can help you, one, see their perspective, and you can show them yours, and then between the two of you, become problem solvers. Remember, as filmmakers, most of our job is solving problems.
Is that true?
It's solving problems. That's what we do. Most of our work is solving problems. Whether it's something the client has a last minute change, your memory card dies day of, those batteries don't last as long as you thought they did. Whatever it is, problem solving is part of what we do. In fact, most of what we do. And having a community that you can problem solve with emotionally or through learning and experience, that helps you. That helps you tenfold.
Exactly. I mean, I think early on I had a mentor give me a piece of advice that still I think about all the time, and that's you should always have 3 layers of community.
Problem solving right now. Can we get that on camera, please?
Hold, please.
I know, there's something about that window, man. I don't know if it's air or could be spider webs.
Exactly, man. And that reminds me of a piece of advice that a mentor gave me early on that I still think about all the time, and that's having 3 levels at all time of your network. And think about the first level as your peers, those who are running right there with you, you know, that own their own business. They're kind of in the same stage of growth and same stage of relatability that you're in. And then making sure that you're being fed from people above you, people who have been to the exact place that you want to go. And then people below you, giving back and mentoring and pulling those below you up. And it's that balance of having all 3 levels of that relationship, because that's going back to the perspective aspect. That's going to give you a lot of different perspectives of people who've been there, done that, have been successful time and time again, people who are in the same place as you, dealing with the same struggles and the same challenges as you, and then people who are just starting out who you can really give back to and alleviate a lot of the pains that you went through. And they all work in tandem, you know, and they all make you a successful, more successful person, more successful filmmaker.
They do. And this brings up community over competition. Community over competition, always.
All the time.
I think it's easy as filmmakers and creatives, and this isn't just because we're creatives or filmmakers. I feel like sometimes it's societal or cultural or any number of things where it's like this every man for himself type deal where it's like, if I don't get the job and you got the job, well, you still work for me. Implying that there's a finite amount of work. That is not true, and I want to emphasize that again. That is not true. There's always enough work. And as freelancers, you're going to have dry seasons, and you're going to have seasons where you can't even keep up with the work that's being thrown at you, okay? It comes in seasons. Be genuinely excited for your fellow filmmakers when they are being successful, when they are going through successful seasons, because those will be the same people who are celebrating your victories later.
And pulling you up when you're down and helping you ride that wave of entrepreneurship, of being a filmmaker. Like, if you don't go out there and celebrate other people's wins, then you're not going to build a network. You're not going to build relationships, you know?
Absolutely.
And
I mean, when we had Jay Coletta, the DP, on our podcast, I mean, he said, like, no one wants to work with the person
who complains.
Who complains, who's always complaining about the person who's worked when they don't. Right, but he also is the one that said, like, when you are genuinely excited, when you show that passion, when other people are successful, they are the ones that bring you on set.
They are.
Or they're the ones that refer work to you when they can't take it. That is the power of community. That is the power of surrounding yourself with people who can support you.
And it's, you know, it's really an abundance mindset. It's knowing that we don't live in a limiting world, that our industry is always growing and it's always changing, and there's always opportunities for everyone.
Absolutely. To sum up today's video, community over competition always, the 3 levels of filmmaking: find people above you, at your current level and below you, uplift each other and support. When one filmmaker grows, we all grow. Remember that. Abundance over scarcity always. This has been TVC Talk. We'll see you next time.
If you like it, like that button. If you like
I forgot about
like
that.
it. Like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you later.